It's over. The World Cup is over. Football has been saved. Today, we saw utter domination, destroying. Spain cooked. Spain fried. Spain did the exact same thing that they did against France, which was the most one-sided game I've ever seen. Spain deserves this World Cup. I did make a video warning, teams about the Spain super team. I knew they were a good side, and people shouldn't write them off because some people, they saw the Cape Verde game, they saw how tight the Belgium game was, and they thought, Spain, if they get a big game, big test, they will fail. But after the France game, I was convinced, they could be Argentina. I did make a video saying, Argentina will win, but hopefully, luckily, I jinxed Argentina, and Spain won the tournament. I didn't want the curse to go on, so I root for Argentina. I said Argentina was gonna win, but my heart obviously was saying I want Spain to win, and they won, and they deserve it because Argentina only had 0 shots for majority of that game. They went to that whole game. Spain notified. Spain contained Argentina to the point that Argentina had 0 shots. 0 shots for 90 minutes, if I'm not wrong. And then when they got 2 shots, it was an extra time. Of course, they won the final. The only disappointment for Spain is that they didn't finish Argentina in the 90 minutes of the game. But who cares? They won it. They won the World Cup, and they deserve the World Cup. Football won today. Spain deserve it. They deserve this World Cup for sure. I have to give the moment for Messi. I have to respect him and say, this is probably the end for Messi. So I have to say, thank you for what you've done for football. Thank you for all your good moments. No thank you for, all the things you did against Madrid, of course. I have to say it. But thank you for your special moments in football. That doesn't involve Madrid. But, you're a legend of football. You are the GOAT. And you can retire, peacefully still because we won the World Cup. So no need to be sad, no need to be in tears. You've completed football for Argentina. So, you should let, now your Mal's moment is Spain's moment to celebrate the World Cup. And yeah, Argentina, I had to talk about Argentina, the performance. I did say, Argentina weren't good. They weren't good today. They weren't good. Like, that actually was the worst I've seen from Argentina. Because even, the 75 to 9-minute range I was talking about in my preview to this game, Argentina didn't do nothing that time. They didn't do nothing. They had a little period when they start having the ball, start creating chances, which was the end where Spain decided we have to defend this lead. That was when Argentina had chances. And they actually almost scored from that time. But luckily they didn't. And yeah, it's Ferran Torres who gets the winner for Spain. Assist from Nico Williams. So the bench made an impact in the game to finally get that goal after 90 minutes of domination with the ball, domination without the ball. High amount of shots on targets. They have like 29, 30 shots today, which that's very high for only scoring 1 goal. And, I have to give flowers to the Spain players who turned up. Ferran Torres, clutch, will be a hero in Spain for that World Cup goal. Nico Williams, assist, impact. The Spain midfielders today. Rodri, what a performance from Rodri. Rodri, oh my days. This is why he won the Ballon d'Or. He's a world-class player. In Madrid, we weren't looking at this guy. We were looking at this guy. But, some Madrid fans questioned, is he finished? Is he not the same player? Can he not do what he did before? But after seeing his World Cup campaign, he deserves to play the tournament. That's one. And two, he needs to come to Madrid. He is the player we need for Madrid. We talk about the midfield problem. This is the answer. This is the answer. Madrid. And he's Spanish too. We lack Spanish players in Madrid. So we need to get Rodri as soon as possible. Rodri is a good signing for Madrid. That, we actually were in talks about getting him. But hopefully, it comes back and we do get this guy. Because this is a good signing. To be honest, we should have gotten him instead of Bernardo Silva. I can't lie. This was the player that we needed. But what a performance from Rodri. Who else? Fabian Ruiz, pretty good performance from him as well. Cucurella, what a performance, Cucurella. He handled Argentina's attack. The midfield, the team stopped Messi from doing anything crazy that will cause Spain problems. And they stopped Mbappe and they stopped Lionel Messi from doing anything against them. 0 goals from the whole Argentina attack. It was so bad to the point that Argentina made 4 to 5 subs very early in the game. And it wasn't enough for Argentina. Argentina, no one really played well for Argentina. But the best team won. The best team in the tournament won the World Cup. And, you could say, Argentina, in this journey, they got very fortunate in some of these wins. Or that they were always going through moments when they were 2-0, 1-0 down. But they keep coming back. But today, against that Spain defensive record of only conceding 1 goal the whole tournament and in a long time, I saw the first 20 minutes of the game. I was like, Argentina, this is a different test for them. This is a different test for them. And it was a different test the whole game. They did everything they could, Argentina, tactically, and it didn't work. So, yeah, Spain are the winners of the World Cup. And this is my last video about the World Cup. Congratulations to Spain. Congratulations to, all the Barca players that won the World Cup. Now they could potentially use it in our heads. Madrid players. Or the Cucurella. But yeah, Madrid, I think one thing about Madrid we need to talk about is the lack of Spanish players. It's La Liga. Madrid is in Spain. We must have more Spanish players in our team. I'm sorry. It's the truth. Because, now we're not looking like Spain. We're looking like France right now. Looking like, because they were diverse, but we need some Spanish players in that team. But yeah, that's the end of the video. That's the end of the World Cup. Reviews, previews. And yeah, congratulations to Spain. You saved football.